Celebrate a brand new year and just breathe new begin. It just has this new thing. There's just freshness about this morning. I don't know, but there's just something new. There's something hopeful about this beautiful morning, this awesome Wednesday morning, the very first day in the year 2025. I hope that that your hope is strengthened. I hope that you are looking forward to great things in the year. I hope that you're looking forward to achieving great things in the year as well. Happy New Year to you. Thank you to everyone who stayed with us all through 2024. Thank you for stepping into 2025 with us. We are super grateful. Thank you so much. And this is from all of us, Milan 98.3 FM, saying thank you for an amazing ride in 2024. And we look forward to something even so much more in 2025. We're looking forward to bringing you so much more amazing programs for your listening pleasure, designing so much content for you to consume to ensure that you stay abreast as regards the state of the nation. My name is Omobola Sandra, always is and always will be, and this is Trends in the Papers, the very first edition in the year 2024, the first edition in the month of January 2025, rather. This is going to be happening to a lot of people. I can't imagine people who work in the corporate world and in schools, the bankers, everyone has to now accustom themselves to changing their dates to 2025. Oh my goodness. And also happy birthday to everybody, whatever year or whatever month or whatever day your birthday falls into in this year. This is us wishing you happy birthday, everybody, in year 2025. And if today is your birthday, wow, as Yoruba people will call them, Abiodun, happy birthday to you as well. And I trust that you have fun. I wish you an amazing 2025, and I hope that, stay on to that hope, hold on to it, no matter what it is. And we also pray that Nigeria would also birth new things as well. I hope that economy wise, whatever wise, that things change for the better for our great country Nigeria, our very beloved country. There is no place like home. Yes, we can always go abroad, have take a break, go on vacation and all, but there is really no place like home. All right, there's no other place where you can do falafolo, anyhow, anyhow you want to do it. It's always going to be, the safest place for you, actually. But through it all, we hope that our leaders, are enlightened to be able to make the right decision, people-centric reforms that would change, the trajectory of the country. It may not look good, but this is 2025. Let's stay hopeful. Let's hold on to that hope. And we pray that before the end of the year 2025, we have a different story to say as Nigerians living in Nigeria. I will not be doing Trends in the Papers alone this morning as usual. I would have Fᴜʟᴜ joined via the phone line to give analysis to the stories that we will be looking through this morning. We have our papers, the Punch, Vanguard, and the Guardian newspaper, of course, in no particular order. And we'll see how we can make, the stories as bright and as cheerful as possible, because the truth is, 2024 really dealt a big one on us as Nigerians, and the story continues, of course. But we'll see how we can, put some cheer and some hope into it. But before then, good morning, Fuad. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Sandra. And Happy New Year to all our mainland FM family and listeners, and everyone that, keeps staying with us.
Yeah.
As the most reliable source for quality information on radio, quality and reliable information on radio. An amazing 2024. We're hoping for a better 2025. And so, another year, another hope, another challenge. And the promise is there really for us to get better, the people as a nation. So it's just what it is. I actually always think that, look, the new year comes, the dates will change. But the question is, would our lives change? It's always the ultimate question for me. If it's going to change, is it for the better or for the worse? I'm hoping that 2025 will bring better tidings and we'll get better as a nation and as a people.
Mm, mm. Well, my pastor always say that we can't really say Happy New Year until you experience something new, really. So, what's different about 2025 is just today is another Wednesday
So
for a
Sarah,
lot
so
of
it's not
people.
just like another 60 seconds,
Mm,
another 7 days, another 24 hours, another 365 or 366 days, so because again, if it's a new year, what is that new thing that you're expecting to happen to you? So for me, I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for better health. I'm hoping for improved finance, and I'm hoping for, improvement on how I'm able to deliver on my job,
mm,
really.
mm. Thank you very much, for Said. I just came in there, but we're still going to stay hopeful, just as Fuad had already said. All right, well, it's time for trends in the papers. Let's see what we have as the major trending stories on the front pages of our papers this morning. But before then, we are live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM on both platforms. So you can join the program on Facebook and YouTube, or you can visit our website www.mainlandfm.com, and you can also listen live to your favorite programs on this dial. So as the show progresses, you can also drop your comments in the live chat section on both Facebook and YouTube, and we take them alongside messages by the time we move on to the next segment, which is Milan Focus. Now, the major headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper reads New Year Message. Tinubu promises massive food production, 15% inflation in 2025. And we'll have a rider here that says President pledges better access to credit, eyes a $1 trillion economy as PDP tasks federal government on insecurity and others. So, I remember when we started the conversation around the 2025 budget, the 47.9 trillion naira budget, and a lot of expectations, a lot of high hopes from that particular budget by the president. All right, a 1,500 to a naira exchange rate, $75 per barrel oil benchmark, then a $1 trillion economy now, and that's what we're getting now. Massive food production, 15% inflation, so many things, for a lot of people to look forward to. Forward cautious optimism, or should we just, go with the flow of, hope in 2025?
Well, we have to keep hope alive, whether you like it or not. Even though you have to define your hope, I'm not going to go with any hope from any politician, whether ruling or in the opposition. I probably just work on how to get hope and pursue my own happiness in my own way. So, but of course, the fact that you're alive means there's hope somewhere for you. So, but again, the promises of the president again, whether we like it or not, I wasn't expecting anything different, really. Same thing was going to come. We're going to work very hard to produce food. We're working towards a $1 trillion economy. We're looking at bringing down inflation to about 15% and all of that. If you ask me whether these are realistic projections, I'll say I have my little doubts here and there, Sandra. I'm not so optimistic about the ability of this government to deliver on some of these promises. These are not new promises, Sandra, if you remember. They are not really new. It's been the consistent pattern over the last 2 years. You get these statements, you get these promises. But do they have the capacity to deliver on these promises? Why not? If we get busy to, fold our sleeves, buckle our shoes, and do the right thing. Create the political will, more than just mere statements and sloganeering and promises. It require a lot of intentional effort, serious commitment from the government, a departure from the old ways of doing things. Very important too, Sandra. And since you brought the budget 2025 into the conversation, I'm sorry. What we have in that budget does not give me any hope that some of these promises will come to fruition. But again, we have to keep hope alive. The presidential promise, we have to take it seriously. And because of the kind of job we do, we also keep our eyes on the ball, continue to probe whether these things would come to fruition. So it's just what it is. These are statements that will definitely come. We have to wait to see whether it's going to come to life.
Well, the president has assured Nigerians of their resolve to boost food production and reduce inflation on food and drugs to 15%, while also strengthening the economy in 2025. And in his New Year message to the nation, the president highlighted economic growth indicators, including lower fuel prices, rising foreign reserves, a stronger naira, as signs of progress, that would continue into 2025. He stated, and I quote, "Though 2024 posed numerous challenges to our citizens and households, I am confident that the new year will bring brighter days. Economic indicators point to a positive and encouraging outlook. Fuel prices have gradually decreased, and we recorded foreign trade surpluses in 3 consecutive quarters. Foreign reserves have risen. The naira has strengthened against the naira has strengthened against the US dollar, bringing greater stability." The president has said, the stock market's record growth has generated trillions of naira. Nevertheless, the cost of food, of course, and drugs have remained a significant concern. And he acknowledged persistent inflation, rising cost of essential, and he has vowed to intensify efforts to reduce inflation from 34.6% to 15% through reforms.
How will that happen, Sandra?
Through reforms aimed at boosting food production. According to him, the government is intensifying efforts to lower these by boosting food production, promoting local manufacturing of essential drugs and other medical supplies. He said, and I quote, "We are resolute in our ambition to reduce inflation. With diligent work, we will achieve this," and said a lot of prayers. We also promised to consolidate further and increase access to credit for individuals. So they're going to establish the National Credit Guarantee Company to expand risk-sharing instruments for financial institutions and enterprises. And they're expected to start operations before the end of the second quarter in partnership with government institutions such as the Bank of Industry, Nigeria Consumer Credit Corporation, the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Agency, and the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, the private sector, and multilateral institutions. There's a lot of hope, in this one. There's a lot of confidence from the president as well.
There's a lot in that statement, a lot. Nothing new, really. Because I'm sure if you play the last year's New Year message, it's probably going to sound the same way. Probably just see that some of the lines are almost like repeated lines. So we're used to some of these things. But so that we don't waste too much time on this, really. 15%, we're hoping to drop it from around 34%. With this rising energy cost, Sandra, I'll tell you, electricity costs as we speak today, there's still the argument that it's not still cost reflective, right? So we going into 2025, there's the possibility that electricity tariff will still go up. Now, that's number one. Number two, yes, we've seen some marginal drop in prices of petrol and other petroleum products. But how sustainable is that drop? Because again, this drop up till today, there have not been clear explanation from the stakeholders as to how the drop happened. What were the indices, the indicators that made these prices to drop suddenly from over 1,000 to around 935, 950? If you understand what I'm saying. So because there are no clear indicators as to why those prices dropped, other than the fact that, there's a competition somewhere, which a lot of people have even questioned anyways, if you understand what I'm saying. So because we don't have any clear indication as to why there's a drop in prices of petroleum products suddenly, you understand, there are questions as to whether it is really sustainable or this is just a temporary gimmick to douse tension and create this kind of hope in the minds of Nigerians. So far, we have 2 indicators that are showing that, look, inflation may still rise in 2025. That's against what is being said by government. I think we need to just leave it as it is and say that, look, these are just mere promises, really. It may not materialize. Because how do we drop from 34, Sandra, to 15% if we are still having rising energy costs, petroleum products pricing that has dropped marginally that might not be completely sustainable? I really don't know how it's going to come. Okay, the promise of producing more food, Sandra, these are things we've had over and over and over again. I remember the last one was that we are going to cultivate about maybe 50 hectares of land or something. I don't know whether 1 hectare was cultivated anywhere by the federal government. So we are still expecting tractors. So I think, again, we just have to leave it so that we are not sounding overly critical of the government. As much as we want to give the government the benefit of doubt, what we've seen over with government policies in the past does not really give us that confidence that this one would happen again. But if it happens, then it will be a very good one, for all Nigerians.
It's all right. Well, moving on, still on that particular message, the president commended governors who embraced the federal government's compressed natural gas initiative by launching CNG-propelled public transport. Thankfully, we have not, jettisoned the whole conversation on CNG. It's back on the table. And he congratulated those who also adopted electric vehicles, and...
Which, you don't understand what I'm saying. Which of the states now, Sandra, has done so much with the adoption of CNG vehicles and electric vehicles to the point that the president is referencing and acknowledging it in his New Year message?
There are CNG BRT buses in Lagos.
In where now? Where?
Lagos. That
is significant enough for it to be referenced.
I don't know about significant enough, but...
wait now. When last did you enter a CNG bus?
Where?
CNG powered bus.
Where? They're not everywhere.
So what then are we saying? And again, so that people don't think that with the CNG conversation, I always think that it's not supposed to be anything. It's supposed to be a long-term thing. Yeah, why not new idea, new technology, even though it's getting obsolete in some parts of the world. But for it to become a conversation for an immediate solution to our problem, it's where I get worried, really. I'm not saying that we cannot come up with new ideas, but to think that we'll continue to throw in this CNG conversation as a possible solution to our immediate problems when it comes to rising cost of transportation, is where I get worried, really. I'm not saying that we cannot begin to adopt new technologies, ways of doing things. But when a long-term solution is being thrown into the conversation as a short-term solution to an immediate problem, I get worried, really, about the thinking process of people who put in these things.
That's all right. Well, they're going to launch, as also, it revealed that there'll be an unveil of the National Values Charter already approved by the Federal Executive Council in the first quarter. It will launch an ambitious national orientation campaign that fosters patriotism and love for our country and inspires citizens to rally together. I don't know if you need to do all of that for me to, love my country, but it's fine.
An aggressive what? Orientation or what?
National orientation.
I like that line.
Well, I did not say aggressive. You need to calm down.
They are going to launch an aggressive.
Ambitious.
Oh, it's ambitious. Ambitious what?
National orientation campaign that will foster patriotism and love for our country and inspire citizens to rally together. That's part of yes.
Is there a question around the patriotism of Nigerians? Is there a question as to how patriotic Nigerians are? Do you think we have a problem with patriotism?
People are just hungry, really.
So the question is there any reason for us to question the patriotism of ordinary Nigerians? You think Nigerians are not patriotic? For it again to become so significant that the president thinks there should be an ambitious program to orientate Nigerians to become more patriotic and work together. I think that orientation should be for the political class who have not even shown enough patriotism to the nation Nigeria. It's not for ordinary Nigerians who no doubt love the country, are very patriotic, are resolute, have waited on and hope for better days. Every day, every election cycle, under the sun, in the rain, they vote for leaders hoping that things will turn around for them, only for nothing to happen. And when they look on the other side, they see the political class, their friends and cronies in the business world getting better, getting richer. Their businesses getting better, acquiring properties all over the world. And then we'll question the patriotism of people like that who have been disappointed consistently and continue to be disappointed. And you think we're still going to continue to question the patriotism of people like that? There's no question around patriotism here. If there's going to be anything around patriotism, it should be thrown to the political class, who should question themselves whether they are really patriotic.
Yeah. It's all right. Well, I'm looking forward to, the
ambitious campaign.
The ambitious campaign. I am. I really am. I'd like to know what's on the table.
Good people, great people, Abby.
Yeah.
Great people, good people.
Good people, great nation. So.
And then you wear the national fabric up and down.
Yeah, the unity cloth. Yeah, that's true. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, that's very essential.
And you sing the national anthem before you leave.
The brand new national anthem. Or the old brand new national anthem. The brand new old national anthem. That I've still not been able to memorize. So help me God. All right. Well, I'm working on it. I'm seriously working. It's just a lot. All right. Well, the president is seeking all our collaboration. He's seeking our cooperation. He has assured us that we will not be vain even in the months ahead. So let us stay on the course of nation building. Meanwhile, the PDP has urged President Tinubu to take action to address the escalating insecurity, fuel shortages, and food crisis as the country enters the new year. Said quite a lot. Equally worrisome is the failure of the APC government to revisit and address the reported cases of alleged state-backed killings in the various parts of the country, particularly the 2020 EndSARS killings and inhumane denial of the massacre of promising Nigerian youths in that sad and repulsive incident. Said quite a lot. The PDP has also warned the APC-led government against carrying its old attitude into 2025, as that would intensify citizens' frustration and dissatisfaction. The party, however, has encouraged Nigerians to stay hopeful for the country's future, remain law-abiding, and approach 2025 with optimism. And that's the major headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper. New Year message. President Tinubu promises massive food production and 15% inflation in 2025. Well, fingers crossed. Moving on now, still on the front page of the Punch newspaper. It's 3 minutes past 8, and you're listening to Trends in the Papers on this beautiful New Year's Day. And still on the front page of the Punch, the major headline, another headline that we have here reads, Lassa fever, cholera, others kill 952 in 2024, and that's a report coming in from NCDC. We also have here, just by the masthead of the Punch newspaper, Nigeria on life support when Tinubu took over, and that is coming from our dear beloved Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and that story is on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Okay, and the reports that we have from for that particular headline. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio says Nigeria was on life support when President Bola Tinubu took over government from his predecessor Muhammad Buhari in May 2023. Akpabio, however, said, notwithstanding the inherited bad economic situation, Tinubu remained determined to turn around the nation's fortunes. He said the president would eventually transform Nigeria the way he transformed Lagos State when he was governor between 1999 and 2007. So, Nigerians should be patient with him. That's with Tinubu, that is. And he said this on Monday in Akwa Ibom, his home state, during a constituency briefing and empowerment program in Ikorekpene. He said the president met a very bad situation on ground. Nobody envied him. He said he was determined. Let us encourage him to change the situation. We believe that at the end of the day, we will move the country forward. He did it in Lagos before. He will do it again in Nigeria. Just give him time. He will take us to El Dorado. I want us to know that Nigeria was on life support when people voted Tinubu to become the president. One day I asked him, Mr. President, after becoming the president and seeing the level of economy that Emefiele left behind, are you excited? I'm so sorry.
Sandra,
are you excited?
Is he the Senate president talking or someone else?
I'm having a headache.
You are going to the level of psychophancy.
Level of economy that Emefiele left behind.
Not Buhari. It's the Emefiele that left it behind.
It's the Emefiele that left the country, the economy behind. Not the president, not the minister of economy, not the minister of finance, not the
Emefiele.
It's Emefiele.
So Emefiele was just acting. I think.
Well, the Senate president said a lot. He said,
it's okay.
it's okay.
Because it's New Year.
Yeah.
I'll say, okay, sir. Thank you, Mr. Senate President. We have to go. I say, sir, thank you. All right. Because look, it's not a conversation I want to have on a New Year morning, on a New Year's Day morning. Really. We're going to get into some things that it's not. It's going to maybe rile me up, get me worked up unnecessarily.
It's okay. It's okay.
You understand? Because the hair, because look at it now. I mean, he asked the president. He said, "I caught it, Mr. President. These economies that are really left."
Are you excited? Are you excited?
Yeah.
Seeing the level of economy that Emefiele left behind, and he said, the president said, "Well, I'm determined to change the situation." So, he said the president has touched so many lives across the country.
Yeah.
That the regional commissions that have been set up were aimed at development of the regions and empowerment of the people. And he has said that the president has shown love and fairness to the Southeast by making key appointments to his cabinet from the region and for approving the establishment of the Southeast Development Commission. He said, and I quote,
why can't the Senate president leave this to the Minister of Information or people like Bayo Nonuga? So I'm talking about the Senate president here, because this thing is sounding different. Is this actually from the Senate president?
This is Nigeria. Our legislators don't really legislate. They have a lot on their table aside from legislation. But anyways, the Senate president said a lot, trying to encourage people. He said the Southeast has a lot of ecological problems. The Southeast has very poor roads, just like the South. And Mr. President decided to give us the Minister of Works in addition to other key ministries. Even the petroleum
all the roads have
and
been
gas
fixed,
will be fixed.
And we are waiting. The people of South is now here and South. They have given you Minister of Works, so you will fix the roads. That's what the Senate president is saying. Why not? It will be a good one to see all the roads in the Southeast and South are fixed. You see, all this eye service, I don't know why we'll get to the point where one would expect, for example, that the Senate president was going to be talking more about legislative duties, what they are doing to create a more robust, checks and balances to ensure that we strengthen the legislative institutions in Nigeria, some of the challenges, what they are looking forward to. But the platform basically is now to praise the president, sounding more like a psychophant, Sandra. And it's almost the same pattern for every. I don't know whether it's anything deliberate, or I don't know whether they feel that that's what the president likes to hear. Remember when the NSA too was saying Tinubu gains, where he was supposed to be discussing critical matters of nation building when it comes to insecurity, and then he went on and said Tinubu gains. I'm just saying that, look, even if you are going to praise the president for what you think he has achieved, it should show some level of a bit of more decorum and level of discretion about this thing. We know that in Nigeria, eye service is part of government service. Psychophancy is part of government service. But when it gets to this particular, because I'm talking about the Senate president, not any other politician, it should get us a bit worried, Sandra.
Excuse me. Well, during the empowerment, Senator Akpabio went further to distribute items such as bags of rice. It shared cars. He shared generators. He shared deep freezers, tractors, tricycle vans, korope's, kekes, and motorcycles, sewing machines, makeup kits. Even gave 200,000 naira cash transfer to 2,000 undergraduates. And he said the empowerment program was supported by the president to thank the people for their votes and support.
We shall bring the president in.
It's okay.
You must have bring.
Well, another interesting part, I don't know why this was necessary, but it just makes it all very interesting. I'm quoting Senator Godswill Akpabio now. I want to appreciate the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umo Eno. Without peace, there will not be development. The governor has decided to embrace all Akwa Ibom people, irrespective of political lines. Even during Christmas, the governor sent 1,000 bags of rice to the APC in the state, and because of that, I request that the PDP chairman should come forward and take 1,500 bags of rice for his members.
So it's a bag of rice competition now.
What is this?
You give me 1,000, I give back 1,500. Abi?
It's okay.
From the set.
But
It's a New Year's Day. Let's see.
at the end of the day, people will go with bags of rice. Yeah, the cocoa.
Good luck to those also that will get the bags of rice.
Exactly. So, well, further details of that on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. We're still on the front page of the Punch, 11 minutes past 8, and this is Mainland 98.3 FM. And just above the masthead here, the federal government has invited Nigerian leader for talks to douse tension, and that is also on page 29. I think that's expected.
Not a bad idea.
Yes, because the back and forth was beginning to heat up some, tension, especially in the border communities. All right, so the federal government has invited the Nigerian leader for talks to douse tension. That's on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. And we also have here, finally, 2027, opposition can't unseat Tinubu without merger, says PDP chair. Okay. Oh, okay. That's not all right. And that's is a story that we have here on the front page of the Punch, and the report is saying that the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Umar Damagum, asserted on Tuesday that PDP remains the strongest opposition party in the country, that any merger without the PDP would not unseat President Bola Tinubu in 2027. And he spoke in an interview with BBC Hausa on Tuesday, reacting to comments on Monday by the 2023 presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, who ruled out an alliance with the PDP and the Labour Party in 2027. So Damagum, speaking on Tuesday, said there would have been no Kwankwaso without the PDP, as he had his political grooming in the PDP before he departed. So the PDP chairman dismissed Kwankwaso's assertion that PDP was dead, stating that the party remains the only opposition party still winning governorship elections across the country. So far, saying that you can't unseat the president without a merger.
You see, I don't know whether the merger will be on the basis of these political parties, because as it is, Sandra, what we just have are politicians who are in different political parties merely as platforms, for their different political ambitions. There's really nothing ideological about those parties. So Mr. Damagum may just wake up to realize that, look, as a party, the party will remain. But a large chunk of members of the party would have moved to join the alliance he's talking about, if you understand what I'm saying. So it might not be the entire party, really. I don't know why that's going to work, because to have the entire PDP consume itself into an alliance, maybe to form another political party, may be extremely difficult, because as it is, we have two factions of the PDP. And I keep asking, when Mr. Damagum talks about the PDP, which faction of the PDP is he talking for? Or is he speaking for? Is it the Wike faction or the Atiku faction of the PDP? And, again, saying that, the PDP is not weak, it's still the strongest opposition, I don't know, really. Because, for Mr. Damagum to be so invested in what Rabiu Kwankwaso said, about not forming any alliance with the PDP, and not even look at his own internal issues in the party. Because as it is today, Sandra, if a house is going to fall, if a house is going to collapse, it doesn't just happen in one day. You don't see a house just come down. There will have been some telling signs. In Yoruba, the one *ιλενσόκο. Have you heard that statement before? *ιλενσόκο. And if you ask the engineers, the experts, they will tell you that, probably we'll see some cracks, maybe cracks from the foundation, or maybe the columns will start to show some signs. For me, the house is about to come down. Because if you look at it today, even Mr. Umar Damagum, what has been his role to unify the party so far? Has he really played a role to unify the party? He's so busy talking about what Kwankwaso said about not forming an alliance with the PDP, and he went all out for Mr. Kwankwaso. But when Wike threatened PDP states that he's going to throw fire into those states, what did he say as the acting chairman of the party? So, you see, any alliance, whether it's from the PDP or no PDP, I don't know really, because I don't know what is in the mind of our politicians. I know that one of the things that would make it extremely difficult for these guys to work together under any form of alliance would be the greed of our politicians. The fact that they will never be selfless. So, and I think that works to the advantage of the ruling party, the APC. They know that with the level of greed we have with our politicians, the fact that they will never be selfless, they can't see the bigger picture. It might be extremely difficult for them to work together in 2027. And I agree with him that, look, if they don't really work together, I'm sorry. They'll probably give walk over for the APC. Because even if Nigerians feel so dissatisfied about what the APC has done in 2027, they still have to work with the politicians to unseat the ruling party if that happens. But with these other opposition parties, the way they are so disorganized, the NNPP having its own issues, Labour Party, APC, I don't know. So, but the PDP or me, the PDP I'm seeing, it's about to go down.
It's about to go down. All right. Thank you very much, Said Fuad. It's trends in the papers on Milan 98.3 FM on this beautiful New Year morning. Moving on now to the Guardian newspaper. Major headline: eyes on key economic indices as Tinubu promises new dawn. And that is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And that's as regards the president's the president's New Year message to Nigerians, which we have already, looked through from the Punch newspaper. Yeah. Yes. All right. Moving on now, we also have here on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, Bauchi governor denies threatening Tinubu, insists on stance against tax reforms. I think I have. Yes. Oh no. Well, all right. So I apologize. Okay, so that's what we have here, and trying to get quick access to the story. Okay, so that's what we have here on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Seeing if we can also get it from this other one. So help us God. This is a new year, so there's just so many things that we are trying to. All right. So that story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. But we'll just quickly take a look at this report as well from the Guardian newspaper. Still on that particular story from between Bala Mohammed, Bauchi State Governor, and so many things that he has said in recent times. The Bauchi State Governor, Bala Mohammed, has again criticized President Bola Tinubu over the ongoing disagreement on the tax reform bill, stating that the presidency should be open to constructive criticism, as Tinubu himself had been during his tenure as governor of Lagos under the administration of then President Olusegun Obasanjo, and his role in Nadeco, where he challenged the central government. And he said he has no regrets for criticizing parts of the bill, noting that it is not well received by many Nigerians and states with no derivative earnings. He said, and I quote, "We urge him to accommodate more collaboration." He said no, he will go on. Some of the issues, even NEC and some of the ministers were not aware that this bill will be going to the National Assembly. I think we are not in a military regime. Even the military accommodated, even those with a military background accommodated people like the president when he was a governor, and he was able to challenge them rightly at the federal level, and heaven didn't fall. But some of us are giving advice in good faith because we know him. He's a Democrat. He has really spearheaded a lot of protests against the federal government rightly, especially during the Nadeco days. But we are disappointed that even genuine interventions are seen as an affront or an insult that will warrant or unleash the kind of response I got from the presidency. That is very undemocratic and very unlike Tinubu. So, there you have it. Fuad side as regards the back and forth, but last week we started the conversation around the fact that a lot of these reforms apparently are tied to loan requests and loan approval or loan grants and all of that. So what do you think that has put a brighter perspective or another perspective to this tax reform bill back and forth between state governors and the federal government?
Well, there's nothing new really, and I think the mistake, or I won't call it a mistake, maybe it's intentional from Mr. Bala Mohammed, was when he made it a political statement instead of a policy statement. If he's dissatisfied really about the tax reforms bill and some of the things he needs as one of the leaders of the North, if he has stayed on the fact that, look, okay, we have some issues with some of the recommendations. I think he has talked about the derivation sharing formula that has been suggested in the tax reforms bill. Because I think, one of the questions that was thrown at him during the interview was, people are saying that, look, that formula that is coming into the tax reform bill will make the North sit up, the leaders of the North sit up when it comes to their revenue drive. And he said, yes, he agrees that, look, it's going to help make them sit up as a region, so that they can work hard to generate more revenue internally. But what he's saying is that, look, before we get to that point, should we all die? I'm talking about what Bala Mohammed said. As much as we believe that this thing will make us sit up as a people, it cannot be done in a way where we will die before we get to the point where we can sit up and generate enough revenue for the region. And I think that's what's in the minds of most of the northern leaders, although they've made it too political in their statements. When instead of addressing that part of the conversation, you say, the North will show you what we are capable of doing. We are waiting for you in 2027. Then it becomes a political matter than a policy issue. You understand what I'm saying? In fact, the first and second reading, without enough consultation. In fact, if you remember the last NEC meeting that was chaired by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, a lot of the governors and people at the meeting recommended that the bill should be withdrawn first for better consultation. Only for the president to say no, the consultation should be while the bill is still in the National Assembly. So the back and forth really for me would have just been a policy issue than a political issue. But because we know our politicians will always be politics in every conversation, look at where we are now, the back and forth now. While he is saying that, look, there are going to be political consequence ahead of 2027, the APC is saying that, look, the statement is inflammatory. And so we are not losing track of the core issues in that tax reforms bill in itself. But I think that, look, there's nothing wrong in having more consultation. There's nothing wrong in withdrawing the bill, have more people key into the idea, key into the agenda, discuss better, carry more people along. There's no need for the rush. I'm not even speaking for the North now. I'm even thinking that, look, a lot of other regions who are not even talking, may not even know the implications of the tax reform bill for their region. So there's nothing wrong in a democracy for people to get more involved in a policy matter like tax reform bill. And that's why some of us felt that, look, the president would not have said, the tax reform bill has come to stay. No matter the outcry, it has come to stay. No, we are the democracy. And people have a right to dissent to anything that they think they are not dissatisfied about. It is still part of what is agreeing to agree in a democratic nation.
All right, then. Well, the story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Get further details there. And we also have here on the front page of the Guardian, federal government retaliates, warns Nigerians against trips to Australia. And this is just less than 24 hours after the Australian government advised its own citizens to reconsider traveling to Nigeria due to security concerns. The federal government, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, issued a travel advisory for Nigerians planning to visit Australia, urging them to exercise caution due to rise in reported incidents of harassment and discrimination against foreigners. And I don't know if that was the way to actually handle it. What do you think? Because I mean, this is not the first time that international community will be sending out
travel warnings to their citizens.
Gives travel warnings to their citizens. So do you think this was petty on the side of the federal government, or do you think this was the right way to go?
Like you've rightly pointed out now, Sandra, we've had different countries give travel warnings to their citizens when it comes to the level of insecurity in the country. I know we keep saying this in Sandra, that look, a lot of these countries know what's going on here. And I think that the government thinks that, look, this probably just exposes Nigeria more when it comes to the fact that, look, the country has gotten more insecure. Because of course, rising cases of kidnapping, activities of terrorist groups, bandits in different parts of the country. So when a travel warning, for example, is given to citizens, Sandra, it's always good to again look at the details, because they will say Nigeria, but we know that it's not all part of Nigeria that's unsafe for Australians to come to. I think to a great extent, if they come to Lagos and the part of the southwest, they will be safe. I can assure you that, look, this part of the country is safe for them. And I'm also saying there are parts of the north too that are not as troublesome. The way we paint it, the way the report keep giving it. But we cannot also shy away from the fact that, look, we have serious problem of insecurity in the country. And I would have thought that we should not even bother ourselves with people who don't want to come. What we should do is to ensure we do the right thing, to create a secure nation that people will by themselves want to come here. If they like, let them do the travel one. If Australians don't come here, how does it affect us? And I can tell you that a lot of Nigerians will not even take to that travel warning by the Nigerian government not to go to Australia. I don't know whether anybody who is interested in going to Australia would not go to Australia today because the government has issued a travel warning. On the level of international diplomacy, the counter statement, does it really rub us negatively on the image of Australia or that of Nigeria? Do we need to have gone into that fight of back and forth in statement? I think that maybe we should have addressed the concerns raised by the Australian government about insecurity in Nigeria to say that, look, Australians, you are safe when you come here. Yes, we have our own security challenges, but it's a bit exaggerated to think that, look, it's unsafe for you to come to Nigeria. This is this and this. And so we would have thought probably just address the issue than thinking of countering that statement by also telling Nigerians how to go to Australia. The fact is that we know that Nigerians will go there, with or without the advice of the government.
It's okay. I mean, this is time that we won't go there. When the fight broke out in Ukraine, I remember a lot of people signed up to go.
Sandra, I was on my way to Turkey. I saw Nigerian students who were headed for Ukraine.
Yes.
As the war had already started.
As when the war just, yes.
I met the young man who sat beside me, and I said, he said he's a student. And where he goes, he said he's going to Ukraine.
All right. Okay. Anyways, well, the story is on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have here, Minister of Power Adelabu blames vandalism for failure to increase power generation to 6,000 megawatts. That we can get further details on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. Forward.
No, well, let's move on. It's a new year day.
Say it's because of vandalism. That's
no, you should fix the problem. Yeah. Okay, what are we supposed to do with that information now?
Stop vandalizing.
You and I in the studio here with
I'm just saying that's what he's trying to tell us. We Nigerians.
The vandals, or we all Nigerians?
I don't know, but people should just stop vandalizing.
And so what he's saying, would you stop the vandals from vandalizing those things?
Anyway, well, that is on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper. Well, with just a minute or so left on the clock, let's quickly look at what we have on the front page of Vanguard newspaper. This is still trends in the papers on mainland 98.3 FM. The major headline on the front page of Vanguard reads, 2025, experts see little respite from inflation and naira depreciation. And we have a writer here that says macroeconomic growth projected, power sector reforms imperative. All right. And that we have on the page 22 of Vanguard newspaper. Also above the masthead of Vanguard, NLC insists on withdrawal of tax reform bills. And that's also on the front page of Vanguard. And then before we move on as well, most beneficiaries of federal government humanitarian programs are not on social media.
So where are they?
They're not tech savvy.
He said they are not even banks. That they don't use banks. They don't,
Yeah.
You know that ministry has a problem. That particular ministry.
Humanitarian affairs, disaster management, and social development.
The new man is telling us now that the empowerment is still going on. The activities of the ministry, but the people they are targeting and they have been working with are not anywhere. They don't even exist on social media. They don't have banks. So how have they been reaching them? They are not banned. They don't have social media.
They're
They don't even have
not
phone.
on TV. They don't.
And they are not even on TV. He said they are not even on TV.
They don't have phone. They don't have radio.
The people they have been reaching out to in that ministry. So how are they getting them?
The poorest of the
Are they
poor.
working with them?
They go into the communities.
And to talk to people who don't have phones, who are not on social media, who don't have bank accounts. So how do they identify them? And has anybody seen any activity of the ministry in their communities
So maybe
with these people he's talking about?
maybe the minister should provide some pictorial evidences then. Maybe videos
They are not even on TV.
or
They
pictures.
should even put them on TV for us to see.
Let's see them. Wait, let's just take a quick look. Finally, from Vanguard newspaper, twin brothers kill and dismember sex worker in Ogun State. Yeah. Not sure.
So Mushani. We still said it
Okay, so
yesterday.
that's all. That's all. Thank you very much. It's okay. It's okay. We have finished the story. It's okay. Because I don't understand.
I don't know why the headlines always come with Ogun, the state, or you know. I thought that probably the state should come in the story. I was going to ask Mr. Adeyemi actually why these headlines keep talking about the state. You know, Ogun. Can it come happen?
Wait,
Ogun.
no, Fuad.
Ogun.
Fuad,
Yes.
please. I don't like this.
Yes.
The headline is supposed to have the who, the why, the where, the what, and the how. The where has to be in the headline. Why? No. We are done with
Let's wait now. Let's wait. Okay, look at the story. Wait, Sandra, read the headline again, remove Ogun, and see whether it would not have still made sense.
No, we need to know where it happened so that we can be
You
careful.
can see that. Look, you can see that in the first paragraph, the lead.
The headline
It
needs to.
wasn't-
The headline needs to capture it.
That's why I'm saying that. Okay, if you remove Ogun from the headline,
Yes.
would it still have conveyed the message and attracted you to the story?
No. See, these technicalities of news writing. Of what you are very, very, very aware of this.
I know what I'm
You just want see whether you like it or not. We're a beautiful state where that we have a cargo airport.
I don't think they should remove
and
Ogun from all the bad news.
we have the
I'll
finest.
put it in the story. I need it in the
We
story.
have the finest governor in Nigeria, and
Yeah.
we are doing great things, amazing things. We have
All
a
right.
cargo airport. Do you have a cargo airport?
And you have a beautiful gate too.
What happened to that gate?
It's still there, still as beautiful as ever.
Very expensive gate that was commissioned by a president, a sitting president. Do you know what that means?
It means a lot, actually.
What do you have in Lagos State? What do you have?
Nothing.
Nothing. Please. I
All right.
I would not sit by and listen to any slander.
I was going to help
Ogun
with
State.
this negative narrative of killings, ritual killings, all every time reported from Ogun State. See where you've taken the conversation to now. But it's fine.
I will just say that Lagos State should fix the smell in Lagos State.
But there's a problem really with ritual killing. Ogun.
There's a problem with
Ritual killing
smell
for
in Lagos State as well. So let's move. We'll take a short break now. When we come back from the commercial break, we move on to Mainland Focus. This is Mainland 98.3 FM. Please stay tuned.